Listen, the United States relationship with Russia is a complex one, and it goes way back, Cold War days, et cetera. But bringing it more up into the administration of our time, the Obama administration, I kind of trace it to this, and I know it's much more complex than this, but I trace it to this. Arab Spring was brought about by a consortium of sources, and I believe demonic as well. But we do know that Barack Obama and Hillary Clinton, Secretary of State, were directly involved in it, whatever you want to call it, initiating it, being a part of it. I mean, listen, major media bragged about it and lauded it in the early days and gave them credit for it, and they took credit for it. So that can't be denied. One of the results, a lot of horrendous results came out of Arab Spring, but one of them was the absolute indescribable and world leaders call it unsolvable civil war in Syria, yes, which was a major ally of Russia. That's Russia's only Middle Eastern naval base is in Syria. Plus, Syria was one of their largest purchasers of arms and other supplies and equipment that Russia would make and Syria would purchase. And the next thing you know, Syria is collapsing. ISIS is moving in, or various factions of Islamic extremism. It wasn't just ISIS. A lot of people don't know that. I think I write about that in my book. Yes, I do write about that in this book.
But they have sold they had sold the world that democracy was taking place.
Well, that's what they had sold to the world, but that's not what the end result was.
We keep going through these lies all the time.
That's right. It's continual. And so let me make this quick. I'm sorry, but the bottom line, it's very complex. But the bottom line is now. So now you've got Russia who comes to the Middle East, plants itself in Syria, makes alliances with Iran and China, for self-preservation. They're trying to keep the overthrow of the president of Syria, and Obama saying, no, he needs to go. Russia saying, no, we're going to protect him. So that's where the standoff in our relatively recent time, I think, really started. So in the meantime, I think Obama and the radical leftists truly believed Hillary Clinton was going to win this thing and that the globalist agenda was going to march forward. But now the guy that wins it, not only does he represent all of these other things we've been talking about, but he also represents, at least he says, a friendship with Russia. And so I think, I'm oversimplifying this, but I think what we're watching, Pastor Jim, is this man who's bent on destruction and bent on radicalism and bent against Americana. I think he's doing his best to keep it stirred up. I think he's provoking. And it may tie in to the biblical concept in Ezekiel 38 of Gog, Magog, and Persia connecting and being drug along into being provoked. I will drag you by your jaw with a hook into this. I think we might be seeing some of that unfolding right now. One of my good friends in Israel, I was telling you before the show, who lives in Israel, born in Israel, raised in Israel, he's a born-again Christian. He said that's the talk on the streets in Israel is they're watching this happen. The expulsion of the Russian diplomats, the venom towards Russia from Obama, the putting troops on the borders. And in Israel, on the streets, they're saying, oh my gosh, we are watching Russia being dragged into a Middle Eastern war. And they're saying it looks like Ezekiel 38 is right before our eyes. That's just been in the last couple of days. That's my quick assessment of it. Believe it or not, that's my quick assessment.